And good morning, high school football fans. Welcome into the High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. PJ Zucco here with you this morning as we cover some more high school football here on the Roundup and look at everything that happened there last night all around the Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area. Have an absolutely packed show for you here this morning, chatting with coaches from all over the area about some big wins, some big games there last night. But let's go through the Roundup before we get to our first coach. Camden County gets the victory over Glen Academy last night, 46-21, that wing T. Running very well for Camden County there last night. Glen Academy finishing the game strong, but falls in that one 46-21. It was Brunswick High over McIntosh County Academy last night, 42-0. The Pirates moved to 2-0 on the season. McIntosh County Academy falls to 1-1. Ware County gets the win over Eagles Landing Christian Academy, 52-28 last night, with the Gators starting off 2-0 as well. That a game that was just scheduled a few weeks ago or a week or two ago, as both teams kind of scrambling for another game there, and the Gators are able to win that one. Pierce County gets their first win here of 2021 with a win over Wayne County last night, 25-0. It was Southeast Bullock defeating Brantley County 28-0. And Frederica Academy getting the victory over Valwood to start the night season there on St. Simon's Island, 27-6. Charlton County off there last night. But as we mentioned, got a loaded show here for you, and certainly can't wait to get to all these coaches on the High School Sports Roundup. And joining us now, first, the head coach of the Glen Academy at Red Terrace, Rocky Hidalgo, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach Hidalgo, how you doing this morning?
I'm okay, man.
Well, Coach, great to have you on. Good to hear from you this morning. I know a tough one there last night. Camden County comes in and able to run the ball really well and get the 46-21 victory last night there in Glen County Stadium.
Yeah, we've got some work to do. I felt like proud of our kids. We played hard. We fought back on offense. We got a long way to go on defense. We only got one starter back over there, and had a couple of kids had been out with COVID, didn't help us playing some kids that hadn't played a bunch and just trying to make shift to defense. But we've got to play better on defense. I think that's one of the things that we built our hat on, playing great defense. We're not playing great defense right now, and we got to find a way to fix it.
Absolutely. And Coach, you mentioned there, I saw a comment from you. I know taken on Twitter there, but trying to find it and set a lineup during COVID season's rough. And you mentioned, some holdups there on the line just with COVID restrictions and things like that. And how much did that impact and affect the team here this week? I know every week is different, maybe some more than others. How did that affect the team this week?
We got a safety back, but he didn't get a chance to practice a whole bunch. And then we lost the defensive lineman yesterday morning, starting defensive lineman. And, we've had a couple of inside linebackers out, and we got them back. Not a whole lot of practice time. And we just need to play and practice and get some game experience. I think that's the biggest thing. We're a little limited athletically on the back end, so we've got to fit on the ball really well. We're not doing that right now, and I think it's a lot of little things, and it's going to take some time to fix.
Talking to Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of Glen Academy Red Terrace here on the High School Sports Roundup. And Coach, yeah, you mentioned some bright spots there offensively as well, though. John Moody had a big night there rushing the football, had a touchdown pass as well, but had a big night rushing the football there for you. And the team fighting hard all the way to that final whistle. The last drive's able to find the end zone there for the Red Terror. So like you said, fighting hard and finding some bright spots on offense.
There were some good things, but there's a lot of things to fix. That's the one good thing. We can go back and watch the film and we've got a lot to improve on. So, that's it. Our coaches and players, we got to get to work on Monday and fix our problems. I think it always is. When we came in this season, we only returned 3 starters. We knew it was going to be a process, kind of developing this football team. I still believe in our kids. I believe in our coaches. We just got to get out there and fix our issues and get better.
Absolutely. And Coach, you mentioned that defensively certainly got to make strides and looking for some better nights. But again, like you said, some inexperience there as well. Like returning 3 starters out there. So, at the end of the day, you don't want to go out there and lose, of course, but how big is a night like last night in your players' growth defensively to see that kind of offense play against it, be able to go back to the drawing board, like you said, and see things here and there that need to fix, need to improve on, but still playing a good team like Camden County there with that talent and getting that experience for your guys?
Well, I think the biggest thing is it only matters if we fix the problems. We can't go make the same mistakes over and over again. We've got to be more physical when we on the back end in the secondary, and that's something we're not doing right now. We got to stick our nose in there and make some tackles.
Absolutely, Coach, and looking forward to seeing what Glen Academy has next. I believe Winder Barrow here next Friday night. What's the lookout there for it next Friday and the process of going through practice this week, getting prepared for that?
I mean, we'll just go focus on us. I mean, we got to coach our kids to be better. We're being Glen Academy football players. Haven't looked at Winder Barrow yet, but I mean, for us, it's one of those things. We just got to go fix our problems and keep paring down all the issues that we have.
Absolutely. Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach, great to have you on once again. Thanks for chatting with us here this morning, and best of luck as you guys prepare for next Friday's matchup.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach. Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. And yeah, as you mentioned, a young, inexperienced team getting reps and growing there as a high school football team, and that's all you can do. And yeah, like you said there, it doesn't. The experience, the snaps don't matter unless you fix those mistakes and move forward and fix those things that you're doing wrong there one way or the other. So at the end of the day, these Red Terrors are going to get better and better as the season goes on. I think that's something that we've seen from the Red Terrors in the past, especially when you come in with a team like this. I mean, we saw it a few years. I mean, we've seen it here and there for the Red Terrors throughout Coach Hidalgo's tenure. But I mean, I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If there's one coach that is able to make his guys better and gain that experience for his guys and fix things from week 1 to week 10 and have them playing their best ball, especially in region play, I feel like that's Rocky Hidalgo there at Glen Academy. I've seen it just time and time again. So you see it time and time again. You certainly start to believe in it even more. So looking forward to seeing where this Red Terrors, where this Glen Academy team ends up. But of course, got to grow and got to go through those growing pains here a little bit to start the season. But we'll see how everything works out. At the end of the day, still 2 weeks under the belt for the Red Terrors, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Camden County, conversely, huge night for them, especially running that wing T. That gets their first full game in to start the 2021 season. Yeah, last week they get the win over Columbia, but that was a half of football that was ended there at halftime, and they won that one 31-0. So full game experience for the Wildcats there last night. Huge rushing game from that wing T, 469 yards coming there on the ground, and a huge second half, 4 of 6 on touchdowns, 4 touchdowns on 6 drives there in the second half for the Wildcats. And huge night by Deontay Cole there for Camden County, a 74-yard touchdown reception, 43-yard touchdown run on the evening as well. Jamie Fells, Jaden Daly, and Jamie Felix, Jaden Daly and Jake Lindsay getting in the end zone there for Camden County last night as well. But again, the Wildcats, big night there for the first full game of the regular season here for 2021. Huge win. And for Glen Academy, I like to see that gain in momentum there in the second half as well, especially offensively. John Moody, huge night on the ground. And last 3 drives resulted in 3 touchdowns there for Glen Academy. And, say what you will, I believe that certainly helps going into this week of practice, this week of preparation, just like I believe getting big wins and a big playoff push and things like that at the end of a season can carry momentum into the offseason and into the season, into the next football season. So certainly think those are some bright spots there, and some things to improve on, but we'll see how the Red Terrors are able to do that. As we got a comment here, Daryl Britt also adding to the scores, Valdosta beating Madison County out of Florida there last night, 52-0. So Valdosta with the big victory there last night as well. But going through once again, Brunswick High with a 42-0 victory over McIntosh County Academy, dominant in that win, and the running game back with it there for the Pirates, of course. But you like that goose egg defensively if you're a Pirate fan for sure. And Thomas Tedder, I know that the defensive coordinator there at Brunswick High, certainly very happy about holding that goose egg. But at the end of the day, the rushing game back on it for Brunswick High. Jacoby Hill with 2 touchdowns on the ground. Reese Simmons, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And Jeffrey Way there at quarterback for Brunswick High this week, excuse me, as well. 2 touchdown passes for Way through the air. Now, 1 to Pat Leggett, 1 to Jamon Weldon last night. And so the running game doing well, but saw more consistency there from the passing game. Good to see Way back on the field for Brunswick High as well. And we'll hear from Sean Pender in just a few minutes here about that one. But want to note some of these other big games too. I mean, you talk about a matchup between Ware County and Eagles Landing Christian, and you might say Eagles Landing Christian in a lower classification, but man, what championship winning pedigree and program there for Eagles Landing Christian, always in the state championship, always racking up those wins as well. And that a matchup that we didn't see on the original schedule, that we didn't see on the schedule really until about a week and a half, a week ago, where both teams were looking for a game. So love that they were able to match up and find those two teams. Talking to Coach Strickland earlier in the week, man, talking about, I think my favorite comment was the fact saying that they were so fun to watch on film, but then you remember that you have to prepare for them and have to plan for them and try and beat them. And Ware County, though, able to do that defensively, hold them down only 28 points. So that's something I'm certainly impressed with, as Eagles Landing Christian always has a ton of firepower. And the defense there for Ware County able to come up huge. Of course, Thomas Castellanos and the offense, though, racking up 50 points, another 50 burger for the Ware County Gators, second straight week to start 2021 in that sense. So huge for the Gators there. Pierce County back on the winning ways here for 2021. You have that interesting game with Brunswick High there last week, where you have the running clock in the second half agreed upon by both coaches due to some injuries and things like that with the Bears. And you fall in that one to Brunswick High 21-13. Now come back in a dominant victory there over Wayne County with, again, defensively able to put up the goose egg, 25-0 victory for Pierce County. But we'll keep talking about all these matchups and wins for all these coastal Georgia teams when we come back here on the High School Sports Roundup. Frederica Academy as well. They start their season with a victory over Valwood, who, again, they have a championship winning program and pedigree there for Valwood as well. So an impressive first win and first game of the season for the Frederica Academy Knights. But we'll come back and keep talking to these high school football coaches here on the High School Sports Roundup, all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet there in Waycross. So we'll come back and chat with Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, here on the High School Sports Roundup on ESPN Radio Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. And welcome back. It's a high school sports roundup presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. PJ Zucco here with you as we look at all these big high school football games from last night and some big wins from Coastal Georgia area teams as well. Let's go through the roundup one more time. Camden County with the victory over Glen Academy, 46-21. It was Brunswick High with the shutout win over McIntosh County Academy, 42-0. Ware County defeats Eagles Landing Christian, 52-28. Pierce County over Wayne County, 25-0 there last night. Southeast Bullock defeating Brantley County, 28-0. Frederica Academy defeating Valwood to start their season, 27-6. Charlton County there with the night off as they look forward to week 3 there for Charlton County. But Brunswick High with the victory in McIntosh County Academy there in Darien, the shutout win for the Pirates there over MCA. And joining us now, the head coach of those Brunswick High Pirates, Sean Pender, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach Pender, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, Coach, doing fantastic and great to have you on here, especially after that big victory last night, 42-0. Things clicking pretty well, especially defensively, where you hold on to the shutout there against the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. Defense played lights out all night against a good, solid running attack that McIntosh County has. We had to make a couple adjustments, but adjustments were made, and defense played extremely well. Very good
Coach,
assignment football.
Yeah, for sure, Coach. Absolutely. And like you said, defensively, just able to fit against that wing T really well. And wing T is also that has shown they have a passing attack, has shown they can make some plays down the field when they go to the pass. And either way, the Brunswick High defense wasn't lulled to sleep or anything like that, showing up big there last night.
Yeah, I think they only completed one deep ball pass, and it was just it was well covered. The quarterback made a really good throw, and the receiver made a great catch on the sideline. We had it defended well. It was just a good play on their part. But besides that, I mean, we pretty much sniffed out everything else. The screens they tried, the waggle passes. We did a good job in defending it. So yeah, our defense really played well.
Right, Coach. Absolutely. And you come out with 2 quick scores, Coach, and stay that way till halftime at 14-0, but able to make some adjustments, score some big points there in the second half. How proud of you were your guys to be able to go through a little bit of a low like that? You mentioned to the Brunswick News just a little out of rhythm, but still be able to snap back into it and let that not take over or anything like that, but then get back into rhythm there in the second half.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit with a little bit of rhythm just on that very first drive that we had of the game. We just made a couple mistakes, costly mistakes to end the drive. But then we turned around, and the second drive and the third drive, the second drive was I want to say 3 plays or 4 plays. That's about all it was. And then the third drive was just 1 play and a touchdown. But in that process, the McIntosh, our defense on the field a long time, because you just have a 3-play drive and you pop for a touchdown, or a 4-play drive, you pop for a touchdown. And then you have a 1-play drive when you're going to McIntosh, who's like, they'll get in a first down here or there, and they're just moving it slowly, and the clock's running. You feel, you're just sitting on the sideline kind of stagnant. And then when we got back in after that for the second quarter, we were just sluggish. I mean, we weren't moving the ball well, or when we did well on a play, we'd have something to set us back behind the chain, some sort of penalty, a holding call, false start, just stuff like that. That was shooting ourselves in the foot and putting us in negative situations against a stingy defense. And our passing game wasn't going real well early. We got it going on pretty good a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, Coach, absolutely. Talking to Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. They defeat McIntosh County Academy last night 42-0, and defense showing up well, playing well all night. And Coach, you mentioned that the passing game there, able to get in rhythm, make some big plays as the game went on. And Jeffrey Way back there at quarterback for the Pirates, he had a big night himself, 2 touchdowns on the night, and a good way for him to get started.
Yeah, we implemented him in the game on the last drive or something in the second quarter. Just he's been out 2 weeks with with the COVID protocol and all that, and so when we finally got him back, he was a little rusty in practice, and Sutton was doing a really good job of managing the team and just being a good team leader. So we gave Sutton the start, but we knew we were going to play Jeffrey at some point. But when we finally did insert him, he played very well. So we let him roll for the whole entire third quarter, and then we let Gerald Quick get some reps there also in the fourth.
Absolutely, and always great to have that spread, and Jeffrey Way playing well there for the Pirates last night. Touchdown pass to Pat Leggett, and another one to Jamon Weldon there for the Pirates last night. But Coach, again, that rushing attack for Brunswick High, strong. Of course, you have Jacoby Hill over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Reese Simmons 80 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. So again, the running game clicking really, really solidly, and of course that offensive line up front blocking and paving the way for him.
Oh, absolutely. It was a good night. I also want to mention Devin Smith's name. I mean, the defense side of the ball, he played lights out, but not just on the defense side of the ball, his kickoffs, on the kickoffs, his coverage, he was down there. He made, just about or was in on just about every tackle on a kickoff. The kid flew down there and just did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, Coach, for sure. And as you mentioned, that the special teams, that third phase of the game, so important. And I feel like when you're playing a wing T, a run-based attack like that, being able to have those guys fly down the field on kickoff coverage, pin that other team deep and make the field as long as possible. Of course, you want that every time, but when you're playing against a spread team or something like that, that's going to get those chunk plays and is looking for those chunk plays a little bit easier for them to move down the field quickly. When you're playing a team with the wing T, with a run-based attack, the bigger the field, the longer the field, kind of the more daunting things look.
Oh yeah, especially when our defensive secondary is playing extremely well. I mean, the 2 games we've had, I think in 2 games they've only given up 1 pass. Now, granted, both the teams that we were playing against were high run teams. They didn't throw the ball that much, but when they did throw it, our team wasn't lured to sleep, and was actually just able to get there. And so that's also a very good thing for us. If a team has to drive a long field with good special teams and only one-dimensional, it does weigh in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking to Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates. And as you mentioned, coach of the secondary playing well so far to start the season. And of course, yeah, I played a couple run-based teams, but still going to play teams that like to spread a little bit more as you go on throughout the year. Of course, in region play, you have a few teams that like to do that, like to throw the ball quite a bit and throw it downfield. So I know we like to talk about the offense a lot, like to talk about the line play a lot, because of course it's so important, but that secondary, especially in the region that you play in, is going to be extremely important later in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, our very next game is going against New Hampstead, and I know you've been paying attention to the points they've been putting up, and they throw the ball quite a bit. So that's going to be an interesting contrast from what we saw these last 2 weeks and what we're about to see. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out, because our special team is definitely going to get tested when we go play against them.
Right, a 2-0 start to the year here for Brunswick High. As you mentioned, 2-0 start for New Hampstead as well, and they've been, like you said, scoring some points. Coach, finally, as you transition it into that one, we'll talk more, I'm sure, on High School First Look about this, but what's that transition like going into practice this week, playing obviously a different style of football team and offense, but what do you need to see from your team in practice this week? I know off to a great 2-0 start, but always looking to get better.
Well, of course, we're going to be looking to get better. The thing that's different when you have an early off week like we have, we're still in that mode of physical practices and really getting after it. Now, sometimes you get an off week and you kind of lighten up your practices. You try to get healthy. That's just, we're not in able to do that right now. We're still got a lot of little things that we got to fix and help get ourselves identified, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, we will start paying attention to some of the stuff that they're doing in the passing game and trying to get us ready to go. But our offense needs to start clicking a little bit better also in the passing game. So we're going to concentrate more on ourselves. This week we're going to throw the ball quite a bit in practice, probably more than run it, which will also help our defense. We'll probably go against our defense ones versus ones a little bit more this week than we've had in the past, just to get that extra work in. 3 of the days we'll have will be very physical days, and we'll have one light day, and I'm going to get the kids off on Friday.
Absolutely. Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet. And the Pirates with a big victory last night over McIntosh County Academy, 42-0, moved to 2-0 on the season. As Coach said, move into the off week here and then look forward to New Hampstead after that. But Coach Pender, great to have you on. Once again, congratulations here on the 2-0 start to the season, and best of luck as you move on throughout 2021. And we'll certainly be talking again soon.
All right, thanks. Always nice talking to you, PJ. Thanks for having us on. Take care.
Absolutely, Coach. Same to you. Same to you. Appreciate it. Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. So a great start to the season here for the Pirates. A 42-0 win there over McIntosh County Academy. And, of course, the win over Pierce County there last week. And as he mentioned, the run game really strong for the Pirates offensively. Passing game starting to click a little bit here and there, rotating a few quarterbacks in there last night. But Jeffrey Way has a big night with 2 touchdown passes. You look defensively, though, really strong up front, stopping that run game from Pierce County and McIntosh County Academy. And, man, only both those teams, while run-based, they like to try and lull you to sleep and hit you over the top. And having the secondary hold both of those teams to a combined 1 pass completion, huge for the Brunswick High secondary so far this year. They'll get tested, of course, as the season goes on more and more. And as he said, New Hampstead 2-0 on the year. Their quarterback, I believe, 3+ touchdown passes in their first 2 games as well, each of their first 2 games. So, yeah, that one going to be a fun one to see when the Pirates and the Phoenix do battle here in a few weeks. But we'll come back. More coaches to get to here on the High School Sports Roundup, and more of these big games and wins to talk about in the coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet on ESPN Radio Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. And welcome back to High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. PJ Zucco here with you once again as we look at these big wins and big games in the Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area from all these high school football teams from last night. One of those big wins from the Ware County Gators as they defeat Eagles Landing Christian Academy 52-28. And a big win for the Gators, a matchup that was just scheduled about a week and a half or so ago for both these teams, and able to get it on there, and the Gators able to come out, start the 2021 season 2-0. And joining us now, the head coach of those Ware County Gators, Jason Strickland, here with us on the show. Coach Strickland, great to have you. How you doing this morning?
Doing well, man. Always good after a big victory against somebody like we played last night. That crowd was incredible.
Absolutely, Coach. And yeah, you talk about that. I mean, we talked about on Thursday, just the situation of being able to schedule this game, have a program like Eagles Landing Christian to match up against that. I'm sure, Colts high school football fans know, in a lower classification, but a championship winning program and pedigree here in the state of Georgia. And being able to see two teams like that on the field, I'm sure was fun for a lot of people, but of course, fun for all the Gator fans as well to come out and get a big victory and score another 50 points on the board for the Gators there last night.
Well, like you said, probably the biggest thing coming out of us, our guys did play well. We had another opportunity to play and be in the home opener and all those sorts of things. I can't say how much respect I've got for Jonathan Guest and that program that he's put together over the last several years, really. But being able to be accommodating and getting this thing together for us to be able to play at home and it's like you said. I mean, if you get focusing on A's behind names in this state, you're gonna get some feelings hurt. And that's with anybody. And these guys could absolutely play. You could take a look at the roster and see how many stars they got behind the names on that roster. And that's what you better be looking at. And man, we had all we could handle last night.
Right, Coach, and a very good football team also, and you guys able to come out, grab that victory. And Coach, I know you see the points, you see the 50, and the offense played well, but I want to start on the other side of the ball. Like you said, Eagles Landing Christian, a very talented team, a lot of stars, especially offensively for that football team, and defensively able to hold them to 28 points there last night. And I know a lot of people will say, well, hold that, it's still 28, but to me, very impressive by your defense, able to come out and have a good showing and slow them down last night.
Yeah, the thing I'll say about us defensively is we got some stops, and that was we knew that they were going to score, and so our whole game plan was just like let's just figure out a way to get a couple of stops here. And one of those 28, we really put them in a bad spot from an offensive standpoint. We had a turnover; it was deep in our territory, and just sitting. They should have got the ball there, but. The whole thing, I mean, you're sitting there looking at these guys and it's at the skill position level that have Boston College offers and Eastern Carolina and NC State. I mean, they're going to put up points. You just got to find a way to get a couple stops and hope Thomas Castellanos and Tavis Norton can carry you on the other side of the ball.
Right, Coach, absolutely. Talking to Jason Strickland, head coach of the Ware County Gators here on the High School Sports Roundup, getting the victory over Eagles Landing Christian last night, 52-28. And as you mentioned, Thomas Castellanos, huge game there last night, and the whole offense really being able to play against a really good defense and have some good plays, some good drives last night to give the Gators the win.
Yeah, and I'll say too, big shout out to Henry Bates, our kicker, because it was one of those deals where we felt like we could get some points. We just didn't know how many, but it was every time we were scoring, now Henry was going and kicking it into the end zone. So now they got to go 80 yards to match it, and you could just kind of feel a little bit of deflation every time he boomed that thing in the end zone, and that was just a huge weapon for us last night. But yeah, Thomas and Artavius both were on fire last night. They really took this as a big challenge to come out. And they knew this was going to be the last time, and they have a home opener at Memorial Stadium. That was a big deal to those guys all week long, and man, they played really exceptional last night for us.
Yeah, Coach, for sure. And obviously in front of them, got to have those offensive line playing really well too. And really both sides of the ball defensively, able to make some big stops and some big plays there from the front seven and the defensive line too. How impressed were you and are you of your guys up front over these first two games?
Well, we're gelling as an offensive line, and this is a group that is probably more athletic than any group we've had and so they're there's still some inexperience there with them, but they have they really have learned to play together and practice together, and it's their communication has been just really good over the last 2 weeks. And you flip on the defensive side of the football, that group at the D line position is really where we've got the most experience on our football team outside of Thomas, probably. Everybody that we had play a varsity snap last year on the D line is back this year, so that's what we're really kind of leaning our hat on is that group kind of holding us together till those guys in the secondary kind of grow up and get some things figured out. But Malik Mitchell, Demetrius Ball on the D line, both last night, Gannon Goble, Arias Morris, they just played their butt off, and they had to. But those guys are sitting there with two big time Division I offensive linemen, and that's what we kind of said all week long. Hey, man, this is an opportunity for you guys to get some good film to be able to send out to some schools, and I thought they played their butt off last night.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, I mean, you mentioned that the football team obviously playing so well last night, being able to get the win, the atmosphere huge in Memorial Stadium last night, and for the seniors with their last home opener, as you said, they were able to show out and have a ton of fun. But Coach, a lot of good things happening with this program right now, off to a 2-0 start, but still a head coach, obviously, still going into practice and looking for stuff to improve on. If you can choose a few things for this team to keep getting better at, keep improving on, what would they be?
Well, right now it's going to be the secondary play, and those guys just trusting their keys and the reads and breaking on the ball and not being afraid of making a mistake. And I think a lot of times with youth, especially back there, I mean, number one, it's already a hard position to play, especially with the skill guys that you're seeing these days, and the way guys have been able to throw the football and formationally put them in one-on-one situations. Just getting them over that fear of making a mistake and not being afraid to go take some chances and see if you can make a play to help your football team. But those guys are going to get there. Coach Winston, our defensive coordinator, Coach Pender, and Coach Durden, our DB coaches. I mean, those guys are going to get there. We've got the guys we want back there, and they're doing a great job. That's probably the biggest place we got to improve right now.
Ware County starting off 2-0 on the 2021 season. Get the victory over Eagles Landing Christian last night, 52-28 in the home opener there in Memorial Stadium. Jason Strickland, head coach of the Ware County Gators, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach, great to have you on once again. Congrats on the 2-0 start here to the season, and best of luck as you guys move forward throughout this 2021 schedule. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, PJ. Appreciate all you do for high school football, buddy.
I appreciate it, Coach. Jason Strickland, head coach of the Ware County Gators, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. Certainly appreciate him coming on, and like he said, him appreciative of all the atmosphere, all the crowd that was out there last night at Memorial Stadium. Excuse me, knowing this, a huge game, huge matchup against Eagles Landing Christian, and man, being able to come out and get that victory 52-28. Again, defense playing real well, and as you mentioned, against some teams, you just need some stops. You just need a few stops. And with, excuse me, wrong tube here a second ago. But you just need a few stops against some of these teams with loaded offensive firepower and things like that. And especially when you can lean on your offense. And Norton running the football so well for Ware County right now. I know Thomas Castellano's playing huge and having great games, and easy to just kind of mention that and stop there. But Norton running the football so well for Ware County right now as well. Offensive linemen starting to come together and gel even more for the Gators, and that's dangerous with already how they're doing and how they're running the football. So Ware County, if this is a team that keeps getting stronger throughout the year with how they've started, man, watch out. The rest of that region, watch out. Anybody in the playoffs, be careful what you do with the Ware County Gators, because this is a really solid football team led by experienced seniors there at the important positions. And we'll see what the Gators can do as the season moves on. We'll come back, look at these scores one more time, wrap it all up here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee. And welcome back. High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. PJ Zucco here with you. It's all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee. Let's go through the roundup one more time before we let you get on with the rest of your Saturday. Some college football on as we're back with college football. Looking forward to that for sure later in the day as we made it not only to high school football, but now college football as well. I know everybody looking forward to that. But last night in the Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area, it's Camden County with the victory over Glenn Academy. That one 46, 251. Camden County running the football real well, over 400 yards on the ground. Glenn Academy, though, able to finish all three of its last drives with touchdowns and build some momentum into the week. Looking forward to next week's games against Winder Borough, but John Moody as well, $175 on the night on the ground for Glenn Academy. So some bright spots here and there for the Red Terrors. Brunswick High, a shutout over McIntosh County Academy, 42-0. 4 touchdowns on the ground, a couple through the air for the Pirates in that big victory. Ware County, another 50 spot in 2 straight games. They get the victory over Eagles Landing Christian, 52-28 last night. It was Pierce County with the 25-0 victory over Wayne County for the Bears' first win of the season. They moved to 1-1 now on the young 2021. Brantley County falls to Southeast Bullock last night, 28-0. Frederica Academy starts off their 2021 with a 27-6 victory over Valwood. Valwood, a solid program there, and Frederica Academy getting the big victory to start their season on St. Simon's Island. Charlton County off last night. They'll get back to it here next week. But again, a huge weekend of high school football in the books in the Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area. We'll look forward to even more big games here next week, and of course talk about them all right here on the High School Sports Roundup on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee, all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. Here on the High School Sports Roundup. Christian Gokel will be back here with us next week. I'm PJ Zucco, hoping you have a fantastic week. Stay safe. God bless.